Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT. Back with another Twitter thread. Oh boy, we have got to think of something else to do on Tuesdays. Anyway, we're recording this one a couple of days later than we usually are. That's because I just got back from YCS Pasadena and I have the con crud. I don't know which one of you gave me vague coughing and throat hurting disease, but if I find you, you better watch out. That wasn't the only sick thing from Pasadena. The Ishizu cards were absolutely everywhere, both in Swiss and Top Cut, and as they ruin this format, it's time to remember their humble origins as Agido, Mudora, Kelbeck, and Keldo. These retrained cards breathed life into this old, musty card archetype, and so I asked you today what other Yu-Gi-Oh cards deserve a retrained treatment. I'll start with probably the most obvious answer, Gate Guardian. What's frustrating about this one is in a 2018 article on YGO, DECK.com. One of the lead designers for Yu-Gi-Oh! Said that they had plans to retrain Gate Guardian. In fact, when asked about hypothetical retrains in the future, they threw out its name as one that they were really looking to edit. UFO-Roid Fighter. Cyrus and Jaden's teamwork against the Paradox Brothers should probably have a better payoff than it becomes bigger than Gate Guardian. The Roid Hero fusions are actually kind of sick. UFO-Roid Fighter has a ton of stars and performs a very specific niche in a couple of very specific decks just because its type and attribute line up super well. I would like to see more of these. Stratos riding an Express Roid, maybe Clayman using Mixroid to disintegrate its body or make it larger. Peep says, I'm going to take a newer spin at this one, post 3 archetypes in the Xyz era with interesting game plans that got forgotten when the Link era came about. Thunder Seahorse and the Hunder monsters would be interesting. Battlin' Boxer is one of the biggest misses in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. 2 sets worth of support, really beloved by the budget player base, and not a single monster since then. And if you look at an archetype like Evols, it's clear that there's actually a lot there that you could do. You know, monsters that slowly level up, that rank up, that become more powerful, take on new forms, but instead we've just left them with, you know, Serato. If Ishizu got busted support based off shitty cards she used in one duel, I don't see why Odeon can't get the same treatment. They could use retrained versions of stuff like Temple of the Kings that used to work as trap monster support, maybe something to speed up their game plan. It's actually kind of weird that Odeon has never received a retrained archetype. He's a really cool character that plays Yu-Gi-Oh! In a strange way using the back row. Apophis got a new card? What? Wait, this card's not bad! Still during main phase. That's very funny. The Synchro fusions were an interesting idea that required a lot of setup to summon a mediocre Winmore. With a better fusion spell and better versions of the fusions, who knows? There's actually a ton of really interesting Miracle Synchro Fusion guys. I would like to see these as well. That's actually a pretty good response. I think the Dark Blade archetype deserves a retrain. The deck is Dragon Warrior Fusion with my favorite monster, and its character art for fusion stuff for years, but dang if its monsters / strats are super mid. This is a great one. Dark Blade randomly became this like fan favorite card because I think every kid had it, and it looked cool, and it had a high attack stat, and it had a bunch of really sick fusions. Dark Blade the Dragon Knight, of course, is the premier powerful one. And it's pictured in, like, fusion deployment and stuff. I would like to see, like, new Dark Blade stuff that's, like, generic fusion-centric. That would be sick. Please give us the old, terrible ritual guys. Spell Ruler rituals are just hilarious. Oh, goodness. Shouts out to when I made a custom retrain of Hungry Burger, in which the material used to perform a ritual summon, the ingredients gave the vanilla monster different effects based on what you used, and then Konami stole that idea for Vendread! Gage says, similar to the Arm Dragon Thunder retrain, Horus could use one. It's actually kind of frustrating that Horus, which is, I think, the best of any of the level monsters that was ever playable, has basically received no new stuff or support outside of that weird Metaphys Synchro that just sort of had his name. I would love to see cards that make Horus playable in some capacity. Mechanical Chaser 2. Yeah, it would be so funny if they retrained Mechanical Chaser by making him the highest attack normal monster again. Like 2150. I guess what would a monster have to have in terms of normal attack points for you to play a normal monster? 3K, you think? Yeah, hear me out. The Chrysalises, but they don't need Neo Space to work. They're not clogging up the main deck. They're generic Link ones, and there's only one that can summon any of the Neospatians. Maybe what's the material on the Chrysalis monsters? If it's like a Neospatian monster, you can load up on Neospatians, normal Neospatian, go into a Chrysalis to summon an associated one from deck, You've got 2 material, and then there's a reason to play Neospatians. Give a slime archetype. There could be little slime blobs based around fake versions of other cards. Slime fluff, that's Karibo. Slime bug, that's basic insect. All right, yeah, okay. The response, Dire, shut up. Nobody wants a jizz archetype. Well, speak for yourself. Yeah, it's actually crazy they have never retrained Whitehorn Dragon. Whitehorn Dragon was one of those, like, stealth, really, really popular cards for kids because it was available in the McDonald's promo pack. And as a result, it was like the cover card for a lot of children's first decks. I can't believe they haven't cashed in on that nostalgia yet. Maybe it's something like the color scheme was meant to represent McDonald's and they can't do it for licensing reasons. The Panic Monsters from DM. Castle of Dark Illusions and Reaper of the Cards and King of Yami Makai, and whoever this is, would be interesting. And the thing that ties all these cards together is that their attack and defense just doesn't work. It would be cool to have an archetype whose, like, defining characteristic is you can search one card from your deck to your hand whose attack stat does not end in a 0. Wangustun was a playable deck not that long ago, but the years changed it from a fun bad rogue deck to a level of unplayable jank that Hardleg wouldn't touch. That said, he got a retrain that is worse than the original. Yeah, Zera the Mant was a very cool card. Another card that I think a lot of kids had. Big high attack stat, available in premium pack, and it was in the chase. So as a result, a lot of kids were able to pick up this super and its associated ritual. I remember playing this card. I remember it being ass as well. Really quick, want to draw your attention to Zera the Mant's bottom jaw. It's just a little too far down. Another series of cards that are randomly very iconic. Desgarudus and the Masked Beast are super cool. I would definitely like to see these retrained in some capacity. The masks as a game concept are really interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be so easy to sell me on this. I'm down for any of these, like, Synchron guys with big blades and swords getting retrained. I think they're so cool. I know what you're thinking. But Ian O'Brien is right. In a world where high chain link producing formats are currently meta, an update for the chain cards from Cyberdark would rock. They interact with the mechanics of the game in a way that changed how people played Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, Chain Strike specifically was used exclusively for burn shenanigans, but stuff like Iris the Earth Mother, Combo Fighter, Man Beast of Ares, all those cards are sick. I don't even know if I feel comfortable calling these an archetype. They're like a round. I've learned a lot today, mostly that all of you seem to think that the last 20 years of Yu-Gi-Oh! Card design didn't happen. Hey, they should retrain Dark Magician next. All right, here we go. Ready? Wow.